up, everybody? Welcome back again to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappell, and we are back again to talk about Netflix's Pop the Balloon Live. This time, episode 3. And with me, my Pop the Balloon partner, who's been here since the beginning, since we started this on Nothing But Netflix and moved it to Recap Kickback. It's Chantele Francis. Chantele, welcome back.
Woo! Yay! Thanks for having me. Okay, I don't know. Is it just me? I like talking to you about anything, or has the show increasingly been getting better?
Well, I feel like it's more serious, and like it's taking itself more seriously. I think we started off. I don't want to say the first episode was unserious, but Johnny Bananas had the bar in hell, And so I think now it's like people who you can tell are asking meaningful questions, who are trying to see who they would date. I think people are addressing appropriate, is nobody wearing an ugly shirt, or some stuff like that. So I think that you're right. I think like quality of the show is getting better and better. And it's probably due to the fact that it is live because, they're probably getting real-time feedback.
Exactly. And, we were talking about it last week. I do think that that's the reason why they did live is they can hear what's working, what's not, what's the audience saying, what can we do to fix this to make this a better product? And I think they've been listening, even as far as we did get to see the people sweeping the balloons up. Because remember we were commenting, I'm like, well, we kind of like it a little bit. It's kind of good. And we got a little snippet of that. So I don't know, maybe they're listening to our recaps.
Yeah, I hope so. Please listen to our recaps because we need the viewership. Make sure you subscribe. recapkickback.com/subscribe and go to YouTube and watch us talk this through. youtube.com/@recapkickback to keep up with how we feel about some of these questions and these daters on Netflix's Pop the Balloon, as we are 3 episodes out of 7 in. So I'm very excited to talk about this because this is when I get in Chantele's business, y'all. I come to ask the hard-hitting questions, or at least the questions that these daters are going to ask. So, Chantele, before we even get into this, you said it's getting better. Did you feel like there was like a specific reason in this episode that you felt like it was better than last week's?
Well, I just find that the men are better than the first episode's group of men. And so I just feel like I don't think that they're like the greatest, obviously. Like they have some flaws for sure. But I just feel as though, like you said, they're not just like, Johnny Bananas was just like not taking it seriously. They do seem like, hey, maybe we will go on a date. Like maybe we will talk. Like it just seemed a little bit more it's less gimmicky, more real, not just kind of banking off of an idea, but actually maybe trying to make it a dating show and see if something could work. So I don't know. I just think that the seriousness is what I'm liking better. And it seems like the guys that are on the show might actually be looking for a relationship. Might,
maybe. Just maybe. So we did actually get an update from some of our past daters.
Oh, so I guess I was right there, huh? Because you said you didn't think we're going to get an update.
Yeah, we did. We actually got to pop in on Cinco and his date that they'd known each other before. What was her name? Zaina, right. And so we saw that it looked like they at least went on a date.
I still kind of think that they knew that they were going to match up. I think they're playing I think all of it's a little bit for clout. I do. They're both kind of fitness influencer type people, both gorgeous. I do think they both find each other attractive. Absolutely. I could see her dating him because did you happen to see her ex that she was on the ultimatum with? He's just like this big dark skin, like fitness, like kind of suave black man. And, I think Cinco has some of that kind of, big D energy kind of vibe. And so I do think that he's her type. He may be a little bit young for her. So I don't know if it's actually will work long term, but I think some of it just might be for the plot, for the clout.
Yeah, I mean, they are 2 reality stars. And so taking this real life experience and on a reality show and turning it into more reality stardom, it sounds about right. I would knock them for that. But what did you think about Casey and Logan? I don't think you had any high hopes for them. And it looks like Logan is out here winning.
I don't know what I feel about it. Is it all fake? Or am I just I just can't see it?
It's so jaded. Logan's got the riz.
I just don't think I would be charmed by it. It's just so annoying, I find. Maybe she is. But yeah, like just he wouldn't schmooze me or wouldn't get me. Like that wouldn't be the way to my heart. Maybe he's not funny enough, or I don't find his humor funny. I don't know what it is, but what you thought that you think he's smooth?
I mean, it's working. Whatever he's doing is working on Casey. And look, Yvonne Orji even was thinking like, man, look at Logan. He's got the moves. Her dog even likes him. So it looks like whatever he's doing something good. Right. Yeah. And so that was like a week ago. I wonder if we'll tap in maybe like a week or two and see if it's still, if the dating has picked up, if it was just a one and done. Who knows?
Do you think TMZ will end up following any of the?
Yeah, probably. If we get some good news, then I think TMZ will like definitely dive in. But yeah, I like that we're gonna follow up with these people.
I love that we're following up. It definitely adds to the show for sure.
Mm-hmm. And we got 2 more matches in this episode, so we've got a total of 4 so far. And so we definitely have people that we can follow up with. But we have to talk about Ty, 31 from Newport Beach, California. What'd you think about Ty? He's got a dangly earring. I know you love that.
It's a dangly earring, Chappell! I just couldn't see past it, just swinging there. Plus, like, he's so cute with that earring. I couldn't see past it. Like, didn't he see people before him on this show that had the dangly earring and to know that it's not a go, it's a no.
Well, I didn't think any of the women seemed to have a big issue with it. They hung out for a while before they popped balloons for Ty. We got through all the women's introductions without any pops. I was thinking, the fresh haircut was the star of the show for sure. So let's get into some of these daters, these potential daters for Quincy. He says he's looking for a woman who puts that shit on and loves life. He doesn't like mean girls. And he tries to give a shout out to his barber while wearing dangly earrings. That's my notes for Ty. So we meet Quincy, 28 years old, a model, delivery driver, bartender. She a hustler. We catch on very quickly to that. She hates people who are closed-minded, and she's very pro karaoke and cosplay. I thought she had it in the bag. For a second.
Me too.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, oh yeah, Quincy's got this all wrapped up. But eventually Ty will say, Quincy will say that Ty isn't even her type like that. And so she does end up popping. She wanted to know what his duet song of choice would be at karaoke. Chantele, do you have a song of choice?
I probably would do, and I haven't been able to find it yet anytime we've gone up for karaoke, but Ready or Not by the Fugees.
Yeah.
It's like my jam. It's like my high school's favorite song. Like, I love that song. And what I used to do layovers in this hotel in Cancun, downstairs in the basement, they had a karaoke night there, and I'd go out and they'd have Ready or Not. And so that's the only place I've actually found Ready or Not that's at a karaoke bar. So that would be my song. And we can kind of do it as a duet.
It's kind of a duet. That's a good duet song, I think so.
And then I might just be kind of cheesy. And I kind of really loved A Star Is Born, and I was very surprising that I would love it because I'm not a big fan of either of those artists necessarily. And I was watching it on a plane, and I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll watch this movie. And I'm bawling, and I'm just like, it's going down. The flight attendant just put a stack, a whole box of Kleenex right on my tray table, and I was audibly crying. And so I just remember that's those songs after Tell Me Something, boy. And I'm just like, ah! So I might just do that one just to really sing a love song.
Okay. If I had to pick a duet, I want to rap. So I would pick Always on Time by Ja Rule and Ashanti.
That's fine.
And I would be Ja Rule. Yeah, I could kill it. I think I could do that song. I've never done it. But if I had my knee-jerk reaction, that's easy peasy. I think I could get that one done. Yeah. So doesn't work out for Quincy. She says not his type. She must have seen the earring. But then
she's on the other side of the earring, right?
Yeah.
She probably turned to look at him.
She's to the other side of his head. Yeah. Say, I didn't see that there. Yeah. So we also get Kate. She's 27. She says kids are a deal breaker because she's still a kid herself. And she wanted to know, has he overstayed a relationship? And he says he's a quick out. And I was like, this is what I was trying to say. This is what.
I know. Like, it's a red flag, Chappell.
Yeah, but it's just who I am. Like, if I feel like it's not there, like, you ain't got to beg me. You know, like, it's like, hey, we ain't got to talk about this like too much. I'm out. I'm gone. And so, yeah, he's not about wasting time. And I was just like, it's me. I don't linger. I move.
I have a question. It wasn't just me, or did you feel as though how she posed that question could have been a mini microaggression?
Oh, like, had you overstayed in a relationship?
No, before. No, the other question. No, the
about kids?
Yeah. I was like,
oh, what was the question? Was it what are your like, well, he asked her what was her deal breaker? And she said kids are a deal breaker.
She said, if anybody were to have kids, it would be a deal breaker. And
yeah, like she was like hinting that like you have kids, sir?
Yeah,
you know?
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just was interesting because like we hadn't heard anybody have that as a deal breaker before. And you know, there's this stereotype that there's many Black men that might not, might have a few children. It's possible. So I just was like, is that a microaggression or
I didn't read it as a microaggression, but I do know dating over 30, someone gonna ask you that question eventually. Like it's kind of like we're in the prime real estate time for like, what you about to do? Are you trying to have kids? Are you trying to settle down? We'll have a few more of those questions asked with a couple of our other daters as well. But Kate seems like to just smooth, like she slides right through to the next line of questioning, so she's fine. We meet Amelia. She has a sleeve tattoo, which I thought was dope. She said she likes to look soft and edgy, and she's looking for someone who's ready to settle down, not a party boy. And he talks about that he just went to Stagecoach or is on his way to Stagecoach. But he does say he used to be going
later
boy.
On that evening. I think
right. He's like, I'm partying tonight, But yeah, he says he used to be a party boy, but not so much anymore. And they kind of talk about family traditions. And he asked her, she asked, does he have any? Now, Chantele, my family, we are big on family time. Like my cousins, we move in a pack. It's a lot of us, and we move when we go to one bar. Like we don't do karaoke as like solo.
Like, you have a show, don't you have a concert, a family concert?
We bring our crowd with us. Yes, exactly. We don't know how to go anywhere alone. It's just not how we operate. So I'm like, I like that. I'm big on the family stuff, the traditions. But he says he doesn't really have that, and he wants to make traditions for his family moving forward. How did you feel about his answer for that question?
I mean, that's fine. I think that he was kind of fumbling for an answer. And I think that he smoothed it out in the end, like, oh, I want to make a new family traditions. Like, I really like that, but we don't necessarily have that. I think that's fine. Because I don't know if I necessarily have family traditions, but like, one thing that I used to love doing with like growing up is like, playing a board game with my brother on Christmas Eve, or like there's stuff like things that we did every single year, or like my mom will always make ackee and saltfish for Christmas. You know what I mean? Like this stuff like that I really like. And so I don't necessarily have family traditions, but I would actually personally like to make some new ones, which I think are kind of fun. Like, I don't know, we all wear matching pajamas for Christmas breakfast,
that's a thing.
Or, I think that's kind of fun. I would love to have that kind of family unit and have like celebrations around the holidays to be really unified. And so I'd be definitely into that. So
yeah.
If you're open to it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we also get Caitlin. She's 28. She's a youth enrichment franchise owner. It sounds like she does like after school care and like camps for kids. She says her deal breaker is a person who can't talk to kids. Chantele, can you talk to kids?
Kids love me.
Yeah, you're a flight attendant. Yeah, I'm sure that you interact with a lot of kids all the time.
A lot of kids, but even when I was younger, when I was at like school age and like I was at like a daycare, I would always go to hang out with the babies, so like the 2-year-olds, and like I'd be like go and I'd play with them, I'd teach them to read or like teach them something or put them to bed or feed them, and like I just loved that I got to spend time with the toddlers. And then people caught wind of what I was doing. And now all of a sudden it's put on rotation. Like I can't just get to go there every day because now, Sally over there wants to do it too because I was doing it. I'm like, I made this roll up for myself. This is not part of the school curriculum. But yeah, I've loved kids since I was a kid, basically.
Yeah, me and kids have a very special bond as well. I've been in education for a long time, and so I know how to talk to kids. But I talk to the smaller a kid is, the more adult I talk to them. You know, it's like when they're little.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when they're little, I'm like very direct, and I tell them things, and kids love it. They love it. I don't know why, but I think it's just I'm young. They think I'm young with them. They like, what are you, 12? You know, like they don't understand how numbers work. I think every student that I've ever come across that's younger than the age of 15 is like, so what are you, 19, 20, 25? You know, I'm like,
Do
oh,
you let kids win if you're playing any games with them?
oh no, absolutely not. You know, we come out here, we have to teach them the how life, really works out here. And ain't no participation trophies.
Nope,
um,
nope.
yeah. So I liked Caitlin. Natalie's next. She's a senior marketing analyst, and she was giddy. I thought, and I don't know if that's just her personality, but I thought, okay, she likes him. He was talking about how she looks like she's the nicest one of every one of them. And she says her deal breaker is someone who lacks passion. She's goal oriented and is looking for someone else who was like that. She's even lost 100 pounds relatively recently. And she asked him what was the last thing he did for himself. And he says, go to the gym regularly and also the spa. I would have a really hard time answering that question. I don't know what I do for myself. I do a lot of stuff for other people, and I do go to the gym, but to me, that doesn't feel like for myself. That just feels like work. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
What if I just went to Havana for
That was
almost
work.
a week. No, I went for fun.
Oh, really?
I went for fun for 5 nights, 6 days with 2 other girls that I work with. And so like we went around the pink cars and we went to like all these different restaurants in Havana. And so that was for fun. It was to like just, have a good time.
That's the thing. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah, I definitely travel a lot. I'm booking a massage this week, so that's happening. I wish I should take care of myself more, like going to like doing things that I love, right? So maybe go see more musicals or more plays or stuff like that, stuff artsy things. Yeah, I should bring some more stuff in.
But yeah, me too. We should make that a resolution, like let's try to focus on, doing stuff for ourselves a little bit more, because we do stuff for other people so much that sometimes you forget about, the person at home, so I like that. I also like that she said this. Her deal breaker is someone who lacks passion. I've dated a girl before, and there was no drive, it just to me, and I'm not like
you're Aries, which is drive.
I'm very driven. I'm not super like serious and A-type, but like I'm always working on something. Always. There's always an iron in the fire. And so like if you don't have like anything that like a goal or something like that, you're gonna lose me very quickly. Did you relate to this question?
I mean 100%. A big deal breaker for me is not having a dream, not having a passion, not having something to be excited about. Like I love getting behind people's ideas. I'm an idea person. I love brainstorming. I love talking about how we can make something better, do something else, like make something bigger and grander. And so if you don't have anything that I can be like, let's do, I'm bored, and being bored is not my friend. So yeah, I need a passion for sure.
I totally understand that. We get the return of Angela, our dentist friend. I was very excited to see Angela back, because I thought she had a bad.
Yinka should have been picking her. Like he fumbled.
Yeah, I think so too. And so she comes back and she says, a man who doesn't plan is somebody who she can't get with. She needs a planner. Now, I plan stuff, right? But I'm not like I said, I'm not super organized in my day-to-day or like career stuff. But like I definitely can be like, in a year I want to do a thing and I'm gonna make it happen. That's kind of how I am when it comes to planning.
Well, like, what about if you're like, so his question kind of was like, I don't want to plan anything. So, we're going to go on a vacation. Are you going to take the reins? I was like, I mean, to me, that question, even as like, I love it when somebody plans something and like, it's all like, oh, I got this taken care of. And like, oh, this is where we're going. And make sure you wear a dress like this tonight. Like, that's so hot. Like, you know what I mean? Like telling me where I need to show up, and just look pretty and ready to enjoy myself. So I was kind of like disappointed with his question there. Say that like because he doesn't. I don't know. I get not wanting to plan, but like I do love the element of my partner planning something for me or for us to do. Like I think that's kind of romantic and sexy, you know?
Yeah, I understand where he's coming from because he definitely feels like if you want to go do a thing, I'll pay for it, no worries. But like he doesn't want to sit down and like book the flight and all that kind of stuff. I don't mind that. And the book the flight, book the excursions, I got that. My issue is that I don't like to choose for other people what they're going to do. Like I really want you to like because that's the thing. I could do most things and find fun in it. And but the things I don't want to do, I know I don't want to do them, right? Like there's like it's like either I can do it or I will not do it. There's no in between. There's no like, oh, like I could do this or no, I will not do that thing. And
what are your will nots?
I'm not jumping. I'm not
skydiving.
I'm not skydiving. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm not like it's not for me. It's just not going to happen. But like if your thing is like, ooh, I really want to bungee jump, like I'm not the guy. It's not for me. It doesn't do anything for me. And so stuff like that is just stuff like I'm like, okay, I don't want to choose because I want you to be able to be happy because I'm gonna make it work. If it's something that I will do, so that's the parts that I don't like. Like when we're traveling or something, and someone says, "What do you want to eat?" I'm like, "Whatever you want," like that's me. Whatever you want. Whereas, I guess some people would rather you just like, "Hey, I'm booked as a reservation at X place." I'm kind of like, "Tell me the place, and I will book the reservation."
I had this exact issue when I went to Havana. So I'm a lot like you in the sense that like I'm willing to go with the flow. I will say yes to most things. If I don't want to do something, I will let you know. But I'm usually pretty open, and I'm pretty much a yes person. And so with the two girls that I went with, I just assume everybody's kind of like me, right?
Yeah,
and
like we're just gonna figure it out.
So what I did though, I went an extra step. And everybody that had been to Havana, they gave me all their recommendations. So all the restaurants, all the beaches, like where to get stuff, like where to get like everything. And I plotted it on a Google Map doc where I put like who said the recommendation, where it is, and I put everything in proximity to our hotel, right?
Yeah.
So I did that whole thing. And then they're like, okay, so what are we doing tonight? I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? Right. And I'm like, let's look. And they're like, okay, no, you just pick. And I was like, I don't want to pick. I want to talk about it. Like,
I gave us all these options. You don't want to explore anything. You just want me to choose. I don't like it.
I ended up realizing though that with these group of girls, I had to just decide and choose. So and then they're like, oh my God, this is so fun, so amazing. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can plan something fun and amazing, but I wanted it to be collaborative. So maybe that's more so where he's coming from, is he wants it to be a little bit more collaborative, and he'll pay for everything if you like kind of, figure it out and then.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he was definitely like, tell me and I'll you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what it was. Because I'm more like what you're talking about. Like, let's collaborate on it. I think my deep insecurity is that I'm gonna plan something. Chantele, that balloon is killing me. It's so funny. I can hear it. Like, it's so funny. I was like, I'm trying not to laugh. But
it's close to my mic too. I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about it.
I'm goofy, so I was trying not to laugh. But so for me, dang, I lost my train of thought. Yes, what it is that I have this deep, like, I think like insecurity that I'm gonna pick something that you don't like. And then you're gonna be like, ooh, this wasn't fun for me. And I'm like, damn, I messed this one up. So I really want you to choose.
Happen, though. I don't think that you would do that, because you're gonna do something. If you're gonna make me choose, then I'm gonna do what I want to do, and it's gonna be fun. And if you don't want to have fun, then that's your problem.
That's all you. That's a good point. Because I would hate for somebody to choose something and I don't like it. Like, that's where I'm like, I don't want. If I don't like this, I'm gonna like. I don't know. I don't like I'm a flight risk, y'all. I'm gonna go. Yeah. Like, so
okay, we won't let you have those controls next time.
Right. You go ahead and bungee jump without me. Like stuff like that. Okay. So we meet Erin. She's 33. She's a medium and a spiritual healer. And her deal breaker was liars. And I thought medium is such a cool title. To me, I thought like, oh yeah, like I have more questions about her. But her balloon gets popped relatively quickly after that. I don't think he just wasn't feeling her. And then
well,
we
he kind
meet
of
Lex.
said it was like her being spiritual. He thinks that it would potentially be Christianity, and so
Yeah, and she said like, "No, my spirituality is rooted in God." And he was like, "Oh, well, let's blow the balloon." I was like, "That's not how this works." Okay, so we had to move on. We got Lex, who says she doesn't like anyone who takes themselves too seriously. I feel that. And so he ends up popping Lex's balloon because he's not his type, Caitlin's balloon because she's not his type, and of course, like you said, our medium's balloon, Aaron, because he only acknowledges Jesus Christ and he not got the muddy the waters too much with what he got going on spirituality wise. He all asked him one question. And he says, we talk about the planner question. Kate, who's still standing, she says she's not planning the dates and the times and the flights. She's like, I can do that, but like I don't want to do it. Natalie says she likes a planner, and Angela says she wants to turn her brain off with her man. And so it seemed like none of the women were trying to take over this planning role. I didn't think it was going to work out for him at this point. To me, I feel like this is the smoking gun. Everybody's saying like we're not about to do that. And so I wasn't shocked when this didn't really turn out well for him.
Absolutely, because he sometimes women just want to feel like they're being taken care of, right? Yeah. And it's allows men to be in their masculine, women to be in their feminine, and it's just like that polarity really works well together. And so it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as fun necessarily if the woman is taking the masculine role.
Yeah, he to me, he didn't have questions prepared because whenever they kept coming in for questions, he's like, mountains or beach or city or outdoors. I was like, that's not a question.
I guess it is like a little bit, like in like a magazine. Like
exactly.
a BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah, exactly, like a Sporkle quiz. Because he said mountains or beach or outdoors or city. I think Yvonne Orji says, well, they're all outdoors,
I think I kind of understand is mountains or beach. Like he means like hiking or just like laying out on the beach, I guess. And then he's also getting into city. I think he just wants city or outdoorsy is kind of what he wanted.
Right. It sounds like he likes to kick it outside at the beach, and so he's trying to see if any of the women are down for that. Kate's like, I'm a city girl, so I didn't think that was going to work out for him there. He talks about what he learned from his previous relationship. There was a 9-year age gap in his previous relationship. Now the man is 31.
This was a red flag. Red. Should I pop the balloon for that? I was like,
don't pop it. We only got one. Look. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chantele. You could kind of feel the demeanor in the room change when he said 9 years. So it's that older or younger? And he was like younger. They were like, oh, okay.
That's bad though. That's too big of an age gap at too young of age. Like that 9 years will work. Like 50 and 41. That's fine. Right. You've already lived a good amount of years, but just becoming just a little bit out of high school, and then this man's almost 30. Like I don't know. Yeah. How do you feel? Because it would be.
I told you, nobody in the 20s can say much to me. And so 20, and so with just doing the math. If he was 31, he's 31 at the time of filming. So let's say this just happened like last year. Let's say he was 30. Then this was a 20-year, a 21-year-old. And I'm just like, 21 is crazy. Like
my little sister, you met Angelique, but you haven't met Kamika yet. She's turning 21 in November. And I would probably murder a 29-year-old man that was trying to date her. Like that I would have a problem. I would have a big problem with that.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing with this baby?
Right. And look, I'm not shaming anybody who dates younger than them or older than them. I just feel like for me,
that era, that
21 is just a weird age. It's just a weird age for that because you're doing so much self-exploration at 21. You're just able to drink here in the United States.
Still probably in college.
Right, you haven't seen enough, for us to even really have and the people are like, oh yeah, I'm more mature, yeah, whatever. But for me, that don't work. So congratulations to you if it does. So I definitely felt the demeanor in the room change. I even was sitting at home like, oof, I don't know, yeah. So he learned to keep it smaller than that. So that's a good thing. So he ends up popping Angela's balloon. He says Kate is more his type. And then yeah, I think she is looking for a guy who chases her. Kate says, I'm looking for a guy who's actually gonna follow, try to woo me, try to court me, and who's not gonna get mad if I'm not texting back. It's not me, it's you. Or it's not you, it's me, is what she says. And that's it. It's a wrap. He doesn't find it's a pop.
I think that Angela would have given him a chance. And so I was kind of, well, not surprised, but like, I thought that he would recognize the vibe there. And like, if he actually wanted a date, like Angela would have been the girl for him. But yeah, I don't know. I think he must have a blonde mom.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's very good. That's a very good point, is that like when he says Kate is more his type, Kate and Angela are not similar in any form or fashion when it comes to their like physical appearance, right? Like she's a tall blonde woman and Angela's a little bit shorter and dark skinned. And so, seems like he has a preference there. And so we move on from Ty. We did check in with Cinco and Zaina and Casey and Logan. And then we meet Will from The Mole. Did you watch Will's season of The Mole?
Of course I did. Who do you think you're talking to? Yes,
yeah.
I watched Will's season of The Mole.
Yeah, so what did you think when you saw Will pop up as one of our potential, what do they call them, pop stars?
Yeah, reality. Yeah, like balloon pop stars. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I just kind of groaned a little bit. I don't know, because weren't we seeing a lot of like, wasn't he dating somebody in like the reality TV world at one point?
Ooh, I don't know. You would be more tapped in than I would.
I know. I feel like we've heard a little bit about him. I don't know if it's the same person that he had the year-long relationship with that they just broke up with or whatever he was talking about. But I don't know. I wasn't really that excited about Will because I wasn't a big Will fan. I was all about Joe. What's her name? Joe. Was it Joe? The girl? The pilot? The pilot.
I don't know.
You didn't watch it?
I watched season 1 of The Mole. It's just been a very long time.
What was the black pilot's name? The girl.
Oh, Joy, my girl.
Joy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Joy. So yeah, I was team Joy, and like I just didn't like. It wasn't his fault at all. I just didn't like how that went down. I wanted her to, figure it out.
I was team Kazi.
Oh well, yeah. I know you have a little crusheroo on Miss Kazi.
That's my girl. I love her.
Yes.
And she has a tall glass of water. Okay, that's what I'm like.
What if she comes on as one of the daters? Is that potential?
I am going to cry. So there's that. So I'm not gonna be happy about that. Like, no, Kazi, you gotta wait on me. So okay. Will was in a very serious relationship. He's looking for a best friend, and he doesn't want to get tired of his girl. He likes to hang out. He doesn't like cigarettes. Cigarettes are a deal breaker. And before he even gets to ask any questions, he gets 3 pops because he works in Vegas as a host, Chantele, not a promoter, a host.
I mean, I understand how that could be considered a red flag. If you don't want that lifestyle, right? Like it's definitely, it's kind of like I work as a flight attendant and we were talking all day today about how some pilots are dirty dogs and like there's a stigma attached to around people when they're around, alcohol potentially, like, on layovers or the pilots around alcohol and pretty women, hosts will be around alcohol and pretty women. So there's also even that, just like always entertaining, the opposite sex. So if you're not always there and you don't trust your man, it could be a problematic, career for them to have. And then also time wise, like if you're a 9-to-5er and he's coming home at 6 a.m. every day, like that wouldn't work.
Yeah, so we lose Quincy, we lose Caitlin, and we lose Angela because they're not about this nightlife life. Yeah. So we got Kate again. He asked if they're ready to have kids and a family. She says she would like kids in a few years. She's 27, so she got a little time for her. Amelia says she's 31 and she wants that down the line, but she wants to, be in a relationship with her partner before bringing in kids. I understand that. And then Natalie, who's 29, says she wants to build generational wealth. She's not ready for kids in the near future, but one day. Now, Chantele, I like Natalie, but I think I would have popped my balloon here.
Why?
I'm not like. Look, I'm not the most money focused person in the world, okay? And I from in my experience, when people talk about building generational wealth, and she talks about how driven she is. Obviously, I told you I'm very driven, but in a different way. When it comes to like capitalism, you kind of lose me. Not to say that like I don't understand making money, but normally when you're getting generational wealth, it's kind of like you're like buying property and being a landlord and stuff like that. And I just like I don't have it in me. That's not for me. And so I like, dang, I felt really bad because I was like, damn, this might be one of my deal breakers. Like, if you want to be a landlord, don't call me. Like I just don't. It's something about lording houses over people, like homes over. Like I have a bleeding heart for like the downtrodden and the disenfranchised, and being a landlord is like the antithesis of that. So no, sorry.
I never really thought about it.
I just can't.
If you
like,
want to be a
evict these
landlord,
people 'cause
I'm out.
money? Yeah, you're gonna evict these people. Now they got to go sleep outside because your rent high. You ain't gonna give them a chance. Like I have yet to meet the ethical like landlord who's like, you know, putting their money to the side. Like they make enough money to where they survive, and then they never raise the prices. You know, like no, rent's always going up. I don't. It gives me the ick. That's one of the things.
Oh my god, you got the ick from Natalie because of she wants to be a landlord.
Well, she didn't say landlord.
I know.
When I hear generational wealth, I'm thinking like, oh, you about to start buying stuff and making people pay you for stuff that should be free.
Now, what about if her idea of generational wealth was to like build a business and maybe like have like a family business with like a product of some sort, and so she wants to work on that so that she can have a family legacy? Would that be something more in alignment with like?
I think you could word it like that, but I'm still going to hear that you're about to try to be really into capitalism in my life. And I just know I'm not that guy. And so that's for me. It's like, I'm not judging her. By all means, if you want to go make generational wealth, of course, you want to take care of your family, your kids, all that kind of stuff. You want your kids to be okay. I just find that a lot of times when you're making a lot of money, it comes at the expense of people who are not making a lot of money. And, you know, I just personally, that would have popped the balloon right there. So, that would have lost it because I really like that would not work for me.
I thought it was like a good answer, and I'm like, I can't believe it's a red flag. Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty minimalist when it comes to a lot of stuff, and I just generational wealth to me sounds like we trying to get rich, and that's really hard to do without stepping on some smaller people. That's all I will say. Aaron, 33, wants to start a family, and Lex is not ready quite yet. But she works in the service industry, so she doesn't want to like, you know, stop basically working the nightlife to go have a baby. Like, you know, like I completely understood that. He ended up popping for Natalie too. He said he's looking to settle down maybe sooner than later, and it does feel like she's trying to put that on the back burner for her career. And he popped for Aaron and says he got to pop somebody, and he just picked her. I guess.
Well, I was just interested because he must have been very attracted to Lex because I was like, she basically said like, I don't know if I even want to have kids, but like if I'm even thinking about it, it's not now, it's later. And then he posts Natalie's balloon for like, you know, saying that she wants to create generational wealth before she starts thinking about kids, which is kind of the same answer, kind of. But I think that he's just maybe more attracted to Lex.
Right, probably. Chantele, what is your biggest regret in life? That was a question we got from Kate.
Do you know what it is? It was quitting ballet at 19.
Oh, man, my bad. I'm sorry. I ain't want to bring that. Like, I know how that is. Look, you know what I'm saying? I know what it's like. You're doing something your whole life. It's a thing. And then you look back and be like, damn, if I could have just stuck it out, man.
Yep. So that was, I would say, is my biggest regret. You know, I had a lot of discouraging things. So I went to go, I was going to audition for the National Ballet School of Canada. And like, I definitely was capable of being at that school, but the director had told me that, I don't know if we have any ballet dancers that look like you. And I was just like, it sucked the air out of my balloon.
Yeah, I bet. That's awful.
And I'm just like a little girl that's only done ballet every day of her life for like 15 years. And so I was just like, I just didn't realize that I still could want it if I didn't go to that school. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't really see the path, but I wish I didn't let that discourage me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think mine is that I was asked in college to major in Spanish, to double major in Spanish.
Oh, hablas español.
Yeah, I do not. And so I was like, stop it. But I was really good in class. And so like my teacher saw potential in me. And looking back, I'm so mad I didn't do it because it wouldn't have been that many more classes. I enjoy Spanish as a language, and it would have helped me in so many different opportunities. Like, I'm a podcaster. I could be podcasting about Spanish shows right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like look back at all the missed opportunities. I love to travel, but there are times where I travel and I don't really understand the language. I got lost in Mexico City one time and was just like, what the hell? You've been to Mexico City, I'm sure. It's a billion people there.
I've never been to Mexico City,
really?
Actually.
Yeah.
It's definitely where I want to go next. I know it's like the Paris and New York of Mexico.
Yeah.
Definitely it's my next Mexico spot.
Yeah. I got lost and I was just like, I can't find my way. And I was so annoyed because I was like, you could have been like fluent in Spanish, or at least not even fluent, but at least, you know, able to take care of yourself. And so I just really feel like I limited myself at that point. And I know people are probably like, oh, you mad because you didn't major in a different. I'm like, I just wish I had added that skill to my repertoire, you know?
We love a good toolbox. I love being a resourceful person, and I think you are similar. And so like not having that tool in your toolbox, that would kind of
it's annoying.
Bum me out a little bit.
Yeah. So he ends up going with Lex, and she's passionate about the service industry. He's passionate about the service industry. They kind of talk about, you know, would she move? She's in San Diego. She said she'd stay on the West Coast. So to me, it seemed like this is the match that they needed. They're going to be two nightlife people, and they're going to be okay with that. I guess like it sounds like it's going to work for them.
I mean, I think they're going to give it a go. And what Yvonne was saying, it's a 45-minute flight. It was just great. I mean, I would give it a try, probably.
Yeah.
You know, like he won, right? So like maybe she knows so he has a little bit of point.
Yeah, he got a little money. So maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's see. We'll see.
I mean, I want to see the update next week.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your prediction on the update since they both are a lock?
I'm going to say that they haven't had a chance to date because they're so busy.
Oh. I'm thinking that he's going to fly to see her, do something like a grand gesture or something like that, and they will go on a date.
Okay. Well, he is a reality
You're
star.
Probably right, but I'm just like, obviously.
Yeah, well, he's a reality star, so maybe he does got a little, you know, a little trick up his sleeve for that. Finally, we meet Greg, 30 from Chicago. He works in film, and he's craving a person and personal connections off of the apps, on the dating apps. Chantele, you be on the dating apps?
Yes and no. It's hell out there, Chappell. I don't like it. Are you on them?
No, absolutely not. What? No. What? I'd rather be single.
It's not great. It's really boring. In my opinion, like you match with somebody, or this my experience has been most recently is you match with somebody and you're chit-chatting for a while, and like I want someone to like take it off the app and let's like go and meet in person. I don't need to have a fancy dinner. I just need to like see if we vibe, if I think you're funny, and like, you know, and it just never gets off the app. People are just, they don't pull the trigger on making the plan, or I think they probably, most of them just want to feel attractive and they have like girlfriends or wives or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Oh, but yeah. They just want something to do on their phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Like someone to just be talking to that's like flirting a little bit. It's like, ooh, it's exciting. So, yeah.
No, not for me. Not for me. Yeah. Hold on real quick. So he's looking for someone who's curious about life, and he's got some red flags. He said he's not into the princess treatment. And right there, Chantele, I mean, you want to talk about the ick. Pop, 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 pop.
It's really not good. Like, what is it? Well, you know what? He needed to be more clear, because even when he was clarifying and I meant this, I'm like, I still don't really know what you meant. Can you understand his language as to what he meant by princess treatment?
He says he wants the relationship to be equitable. So from what I'm assuming is that like I do for you, you do for me. And I think what he's saying is like the princess treatment is he fawn over you and do for you, and then you just get to exist, you know, and and show love in other ways, but never reciprocate the same type of energy. It's like I've heard people say that you need to be, and I think we kind of talk about it a little bit, like, you know, you kind of have to some people want you to be more attracted to them than they are to you. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you have to be obsessed with me, but I can just like you. And it's like, no, we need to be obsessed with each other. I think is what he's getting at. He doesn't want to have to.
So he doesn't want to drive. Like he wants me to drive. Is that what he's saying?
I think it's more like he wants both. You know, like if I'm driving, you also have to be doing something for me as well. Like it's not like
a blowjob. Like I don't know. Like
I mean, Chantele, there's more to the relationship than just like sexual favors, and I'm supposed to like fawn over you.
Okay. I did I talk about this? This guy that I kind of was dating a long time ago. He is so chivalrous. He would never let me open the car door. You'd never let me drive. How dare I? Like, what? Like, open the car door when I get in or get out. Walk me to my doorstep anytime we hung out. He wouldn't even let me walk on the outside of a sidewalk. He'd be like, no, you could over. Like, is that princess treatment? I think it's very kind and nice, and that he's protecting me. And so I just took offense of his princess treatment, being like, you want to be dating somebody that's like, open the jar of pickles and like is going to be chopping the wood. Like what? Like what are you talking about?
Equitable. I think equitable makes sense. He also said, I think I wrote down his quote. He says, "I don't want to be the one to have to put you on a pedestal and make sure you don't fall off." And I was like, okay, immediately our girl is like, no, she pops the balloon immediately. Angela's like, no, I want the princess treatment, but I don't know. I don't think, like, to me that's not a deal breaker. Like you want me to like to kind of be chivalrous. Like I'm from the South. Chivalry is just kind of easy for us. Is what we're taught. But also it does feel like he thinks that like maybe in the past he hasn't gotten back the type of love that you would expect if you're doing all of those things. Like if I'm putting you on a pedestal, I'm sorry, but like if
he doesn't want a gold digger, is that what he's saying?
No, I think that like if I'm like opening doors and making sure you're good and giving you gifts and paying for everything and handling all the stuff that you want me to handle, what are you doing for me? And you're like, blowjob? It's like, no, that's not good enough. I think he's thinking like,
we're talking about the car situation, right? The job.
Yeah.
But like, is she ironing his clothes? Is he making his lunch every morning?
Right. But see, that's the thing. Like maybe he's thinking like princess treatment is like, oh no, she doesn't iron her clothes. Maybe he irons her clothes. Maybe he makes sure her clothes, maybe he sends her clothes to the cleaners. Like she does, like, look, I don't want to get my hands dirty. You handle it.
I don't know. I feel like he's saying gold digger because like princess treatment, like putting someone on a pedestal, like making them feel special and beautiful. I think that's a good thing and it's a nice thing. And being supportive if they have a work event or whatever, or you need support by, like I said, making lunches or running to the store for them because they need some. I don't know. There's other ways that you could be reciprocal. It's not the exact same thing. So I don't know. I wasn't vibing with how he described what he was talking about, and like just how he said the princess treatment. I was just like, well, nobody wants to treat you well because you're probably actually not nice, or I don't know. You feel like you need something back and you're not doing anything out of the goodness of your heart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's something off about it for me.
Well, I definitely got the other women the same way, because we got some pops, pop. Even to the point where Amelia, she really wanted to pop, and he read it on her face like, yeah, you didn't like that, did you? And so she pops it for him. And so he's down to Quincy and Kate and Aaron. So he talks to Aaron and asks, I think she asked if he's insecure about the spiritually gifted. And I feel like, Chantele, this is probably something that you've come across before. I know that you're really tapped in spiritually, and I know that you do tarot, obviously, and things of that nature. So have you felt like in the past there's been people who have been insecure with your level of spirituality or how you present it?
I wouldn't say insecure. I would say that more so maybe mock or immediately kind of shun or kind of say like, oh, that's stupid, or kind of put you down for something that I just don't necessarily know anything about, or so that would be more so what I've experienced, is not somebody that's like interested and being like, oh, that's cool, tell me more, and more like, oh, that's a dumb thing to believe in, like like so
Yeah, I'm insecure about the thing. I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to spirituality. Like I'm gonna go to church, and me and Jesus gonna have our conversations, periodically anyway. So whatever, however you express yourself, really doesn't like phase me at all when it comes to that. But she's a medium, and I think that could probably be a little intimidating because that's a very specific type of spirituality. Like mediums, they are interacting with the dead, right? Is that how that works?
You know my history, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm very familiar.
Well, like my grandmother being a medium.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had my own mediumship experiences myself. And so I don't think that I could understand someone being insecure about that. Just I think that they'd be more curious about it, right? Like, well, how do you see things, like, or how do you experience like people that have crossed over? Like, I would want more of a curiosity necessarily than like either saying that that's like impossible and it couldn't happen, or I can't really understand. I can't really see someone being insecure about it, really, right?
I think it's scary. I think death is scary to people, and I think that
in that way,
I think that would be something that I could see myself kind of be like, what? But like to me, like I said, it's not skeptical. It's more like, like, damn, you be talking to dead people. Like that's kind of how like I would be. But like, well, for me, it's kind of like, hey, whatever floats your boat. If you like it, I love it. But I thought that was a great question. I really did, because I think for her, even if you think about what happened with Angela, talking about astrology, like, dear God, we were shocked that he reacted like that. Like, oh, you asked what my sign was. What? He knows his sign, so he's even familiar with it. And he's still like, no, that's not good enough.
I think it's because maybe people have judged him because of what he said his sign was, and he doesn't like to have an automatic judgment. But I think that's people just using their past experiences with signs to like how you don't like an Aquarius. Like, you and Aquarius are actually good friends.
Absolutely.
You've had bad experiences, right? Anyways, so I think that I think he said he was a Gemini, and Geminis do get a bad rap sometimes. And so he's probably was like, judging her for the fact that like, oh, you're going to judge me about this, and, not really giving her the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, I mean, it did come off a very insecure, honestly. And so we have Kate and Quincy left. I thought Quincy had it in the bag. She talks about Halloween and Comic-Con, and she's asking about his Halloween costume. He says he wants to be Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. I don't know what that means. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. I actually think you would enjoy it. It's pretty. No, you're not into fantasy at all.
Not really my thing.
It's actually pretty good.
I have all the books. And I've just never never read them
either.
No, I have the whole set.
Books are really, really good. I read them when I was a lot younger, so maybe that's why I was like, oh my god, this is a fantastic world that I'm, diving into. But the movies are really good. Anyways, Aragorn, I believe it was played by what's his name, married to Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom. Yeah. I think it's like when they had like all like the white hair and they're kind of elven. Like, I think that's who. Like the white, you've seen the white hair and the elf ears. I think, Chappell.
Look, it's not my bag. Not my bag. And so he was talking about Comic-Con. He said like he's never been brave enough to really go there for the costume he wants to do, like at a Halloween or something like that. I'm the same. I never dress up for Halloween, and it's not because I don't want to. I just could never come up with a good enough costume or something like that I would want to be. My imagination just stops when it comes time for me to do something. With other people, I'm like, oh yeah, you should do this. But for me, I'm always like, I don't know. I'll text Davey and ask him like, what should I do? Then I'm thinking he does all the good. He already did all the good ones. I don't want to, copycat somebody.
What Davey done?
Davey's he's a cosplayer. He does them all. Like, every time I look up, he's constantly dressed like something. So I'm kind of like, man, I don't want to just like, be a knockoff of Davey. What he's doing? Like, I need something new and fresh. So I don't know.
So I guess the one that pops up in my head for my favorite or best Halloween costume was when Little Kim was going to jail in like 2008 or whatever. And I was bartending at this hip hop nightclub in Montreal. And so I basically dressed like Little Kim. So I had like the blonde hair, the blue eyes. I made a huge mole, and I got like an orange jumpsuit and I cut it into shorts, and I was wearing like like thigh-high boots, whatever. And I, rolled up the shorts. I cut out a hole in the pocket and I put a prosthetic boob hanging out of it. And then I bartended in shackles. And so I was like little Kim incarcerated, Yeah.
So 2005 was a good year. It was a crazy year. It was a crazy year. So I thought they were on the same page. Like he had a nerdy interest, and it sounded like she was gonna. So here we go. He wants to know if they believe in soulmates. Kate says she's a hopeless romantic, and she believes that like the Greek, I guess, idea of like finding her other half. Like we're all put here, and we're half of your whole soul, and there's somebody walking around with the other piece of the puzzle, and she's looking for it. He really liked that. And that was what helped him choose Kate, who I didn't know. I didn't know if I saw Kate making it out of this one. She's kind of been in contention for the last two daters, but yeah, he really liked that one, and it seems like they both have found each other. It's a lock, Chantele.
It's a lock, and I really thought though, what's the medium's name?
Aaron.
I really thought like before it was going to be her. Like I thought that there was something about the way that she was speaking to him that like it seemed like he was vibing with, and then he kind of just like it just ended, and then like it was all about Kate. And I was wondering, and not that I don't think that she's beautiful on camera, but I wonder if she's even more stunning in person, because like it seems like all the guys are enamored by Kate, and she's okay, but like everybody seemed to be really, really into her. And so, I wonder like if she just like presents really amazingly in person as well.
If this was me and I had to choose somebody, I would have chose Quincy this time. Just based off the line of questioning, she just seemed like really cool. She's very attractive, obviously. And then even when they were talking about marriage and children, he says like, I'm not ready and I'm working on myself. And I really understand that, like I'm getting older, but also does not mean I'm ready to like uproot everything I have going on to, start a family. And he says he doesn't have to have kids even. Like if they happen, cool, but it's not a thing that I have to do. And she said same. And I was like, Quincy, all right, I see you. Like I get that vibe of just like, yeah, it can happen. But it's also not
blonde
like
effect.
My goal.
Is that what happened? The blonde effect?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Well, like everybody trumps, like blonde trumps all.
Oh, well, Quincy went blonde. Oh, you're talking about for him?
For him, like he went with Kate in the end, right? So
yeah,
like Quincy, I do agree that they had a connection of some sort, and like when it was down to them two, I was like, I did think that he would lean to, from what I saw, towards her, and then not go that way. I was wondering if it's just like, ooh, but I have a chance to date a blonde.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't personally, not my thing. So I just like, maybe that's not for me. But they got a lock. I think he ends up saying that it was really that conversation about, he had asked about an equitable relationship, and she talked about making the two of them working together to make it work. And and I guess that's what he's going for. And so they're locked in, and we will have to check in, I guess, in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully they give us an update, because I kind of like that, on what happens between Quincy and Kate. But did we get two pairs? Yeah, and Will and who did he pick? Lex. Yeah. So those are our two couples that made it through. Overall, I thought it was a fun episode, but I think we're lacking the drama of the first episode. The first episode was like, it felt a little bit more like the YouTube show, and that it was like very cutting. I think the people were more ready to just kind of like be blunt. I don't like your shirt. I think you're too short. Like things of that nature. Whereas this time around, it's kind of like people were giving it a serious try, and I think I like this better. I do, but I do miss some of the fun that we were having in the early episodes.
Well, I think that's on their casting, right? Like, are they just not casting people that are a little bit funny, that have like a little?
I think people are cagey. They don't want to get the balloon popped. I think that's what it is. I think after you see like Johnny Banana, that first group screw up, you come in and you're a lot more measured with your responses, because it did, to me, it felt like Ty was telling them what they wanted to hear. There was no woman who said anything where he was just like, nope, that doesn't work. It was always like, oh yeah, I can see that, And then even last week, I can't remember the woman's name, but she was just like, yeah, like, no, that's perfectly fine. That is good. Yeah, I'm good with that too. I was like, are y'all all good with everything all the time? Like, pop the balloon.
Yeah, I think you're right that maybe people are scared of the balloon pop. scared of being live. They probably got a whole list of do's and don'ts to be thinking about before they went live on Netflix. And so I think that that's sucking the balloon life out of the show a little bit, because we do want to see like their honest reactions to things. Like, and you know, it's going to be a hard balance when they're not having maybe everybody on the same race, because then it's not looking like it could be, you know, a little bit racially, induced poppings. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they'll be able to figure it out for next week, and maybe it'll be a little more funny and like it's a little more personality. But I'm liking it more than I've expected, and it might be because I like talking to you, though.
No, we're having a great time talking this through. It's been so much fun. I've been looking forward to it. Like I said, it wasn't a show I thought I was gonna watch all of, especially after episode 1. But now I'm thinking, whatever, we getting in each other's business. We're having a good time.
It's actually like this is tea right here.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm low key talking. I was like, dang, all the landlords at home are like throwing tomatoes. Like, boo, you don't understand it. And like, whatever. If you landlord, put landlord in the comments here on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe and 5-star review. Recapkickback.com/subscribe, and then goes over to our recapkickback.com and leave us a 5-star review and say, hey, I'm enjoying hearing Chappell and Chantele's business every week on Pop the Balloon. Chantele, until next time, what do you have going on in your world?
You know what? I don't think I have anything going on in my world right now, which is wild. So just looking forward to coming back next week to talk about episode 4. But you can probably find me doing something on my YouTube channel at Reality Realness with 3 S's, or at Fran on Instagram. And if a new show pops up, then maybe I'll be reviewing it. Like, what's going on? Like, what shows? Is there anything new starting? What's up?
Oh, yeah, this is Raggedy Booty Call show about to start on Netflix soon.
I saw that. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be covering that one. Oh, maybe Destination X. I saw that.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing.
You know, I saw that Dimitri's and Ika might be running their Amazing Race Canada. But that usually comes out in the summer. But so if something pops up that, was there like a Traders that is starting? Maybe the Traders UK celebrity is starting. So I will that cast has been leaked. The Genius UK has been leaked as well. So there's a few things. So if it starts airing, we'll start talking about it for sure.
All right. And was this episode a pop or a lock for you? You got your balloon.
What do you think? Like, I don't know. Tell me what you think, Chappell.
I feel like this was a lock. I feel like we had some good conversation. I feel like it wasn't.
Like, it looks terrified that I'm going to pop it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do. What are you thinking?
I think it's a lock. We'll keep the balloon intact. It was, there obviously I had like some issues with some of the questions and like responses, whatever. But all in all, I did enjoy watching this episode, only because I knew there was going to be so much to talk about you with. But that's still a lock.
All right. And then as far as here on Recap Kickback, we had coverage of the new hit Ryan Coogler movie, Sinners. That's out. Me and Mari talked about it. It's already in your podcast feed and here on our YouTube page. So make sure you check that out. And then Abbott Elementary coverage is still coming out. Gia and I have the finale podcast that is coming out this week. So make sure you check that out. And then you can catch me on the Nothing But Netflix podcast, nothingbutpod.com, where we are talking about Netflix shows and movies. And we just did the entire season of Battle Camp. And Chantele, I know you liked it.
I haven't seen the last episode and a half just because I fell asleep, but only because I had to wake up today at 4 a.m. So that's the only reason why I didn't finish watching it. I had to actually sleep. I'm liking it way more than I thought I was going to like it. I know I sent you a couple of like in the moment responses where I was like, but I am going to go and check out what you and Kirsten had to say about the season and episode 1 after I get finished right now.
Yeah.
I'll watch it right now.
And we got some exit interviews as well for Battle Camp coming this week too. 2 of the stars of Battle Camp will be joining us on that. So make sure you go and check that out over on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. But that's it. For Chantele and for me, it was a Pop the Balloon live special, episode 3. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. We'll talk to you next time. Peace. I've been trapped behind Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall
gotta see. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.